others may call courage of conviction. It is now my pleasure and honor to present to you Mr. George Watts, founder of the Honor and Remember flag. Mr. Watts lost his 25-year-old son Tony in December of 2005 while fighting in Iraq. At this time, Mr. George Watts will make a special presentation to Miss Mary Clarke, Vietnam Gold Star mother.
I do, Millie, it's all right, I do have a few words that I need to say. I'm not good at leading over like this, though. Judge, how did you do this? Let me say that many of you have heard this, that there are two defining forces that have ever volunteered to give their lives for you. Jesus Christ for your soul, and the American soldier for your freedom. 4 years ago, as was mentioned, I heard that knock on the door, and that second phrase came home to me very real. But 2 years after that, a vision was born in my heart that took me to a different level. And that vision was the recognition of all of those lives that have been given for this country since our country's history began. And I must say selfishly that of all the prayers that we give today for those deployed and those out there in the fight, that I would like to remember those families that will never have their loved ones at their table. Those families for generations that have sent their loved ones out in the fight, not knowing they would not return. And yet every one of them, to a man, to a woman, has said, I'll be back. The purity of that sacrifice is amazing to me. So let us not only remember those wounded warriors, but let us remember those wounded families who need for us to have them in our prayers, because they will never forget. Many of you may not know about the Honor and Remember flag, but 2 years ago, under the leadership of former Congresswoman Thelma Drake, this flag was introduced to the nation as a tangible reminder to all of us that that sacrifice has been made. And not just a reminder of 2 days a year, or Memorial Day or Veterans Day, but a way for all of us to silently say thank you to all of those families. And without going into the explanation of that, I just want to say before this presentation that last week, under the leadership of our governor, he has signed into law that the Honor and Remember flag, and with the senator's leadership, is the official flag of remembrance of the state of Virginia. And so, thank you for that. Last year, the city of Virginia Beach declared it as an official city symbol of remembrance. And so we thank the city of Virginia Beach and Vice Mayor for that. But the flag is more than just a piece of cloth that is to fly for remembrance. Our organization has taken upon itself to make sure that every individual who has ever lost their lives is remembered specifically by name. Honor them for their sacrifice and remember them specifically by name. And today, it is my honor to be able to join with you to make a special presentation that we have made many of, but to a special mother today. And I'm going to read you a little bit about her son. Michael was presented the Navy Cross posthumously. The following was written for his service and presented to his mother on a plaque. The President of the United States takes pride in presenting the Navy Cross to Private First Class Michael Hopkins for service set forth in the following. For extraordinary heroism while serving as an automatic rifleman with Company K, 3rd Battalion, 9th Marines in the Republic of Vietnam on July 4th, 1966. During a search and destroy operation The company was taken under heavy small arms automatic weapons and 57mm recoilless rifle fire from a numerically superior Viet Cong force. When they were hit by a 57mm recoilless rifle round, Private First Class Hopkins immediately ran through the hail of small arms fire to aid the injured crew. After he had helped remove the injured men, he and his 3 other Marines were sent to a forward position to order to give covering fire. As the ammunition ran low, Private First Class Hopkins repeatedly exposed himself to heavy enemy fire as he ran across open ground to the supply point. After his 6th trip, he saw his squad leader fall from wounds. Although exhausted from the heat and carrying ammunition, he courageously exposed himself again to heavy incoming fire in order to administer immediate first aid to his squad leader. As he was treating the wounded Marine, he noticed a corpsman attempting to maneuver to his position. Seizing his rifle once again, he began giving covering fire to enable that corpsman to attain the objective. Seconds after the corpsman reached the location, an enemy rifle grenade exploded nearby, killing the squad leader and wounding the corpsman. Realizing that the enemy fire was too intense for anyone to come to their aid, Private First Class Hopkins, in a final valiant act of complete self-sacrifice, deliberately exposed himself in an effort to direct attention away from the wounded, absorbing with his own body the full force of the deadly enemy fire. Through his extraordinary loyalty and initiative, in the face of almost certain death, he saved his comrades from further injury and possible loss of life, thereby upholding the highest traditions of the Marine Corps and the United States Naval Service. He gallantly gave his life for his country. This was signed by the Secretary of the Navy for the President. The Honor and Remember flag, I'm going to have to get away from the mic, was established to recognize all lives lost in our country's history. This flag is folded in a triangular configuration because on the day that he was buried, a folded American flag was handed to Mary Clarke in recognition of the life lost of her son Michael. This flag is folded in this fashion to mirror that American flag, but it is meant to be unfolded, to be displayed proudly in sacrifice and tribute for her son. So I'm just going to read a certificate.
My name is Tom Lesher. I'm a past national president of the Fleet Reserve Association and one of George's volunteers for the past 2 years. It's my honor to read the certificate. This honor and remember flag is presented with eternal gratitude and respect in memory of Private First Class Michael E. Hopkins. With this flag, we honor this patriot's unwavering dedication and remember their selfless sacrifice. By displaying this symbol collectively as a nation, we humbly recognize the enormity of your loss and respectfully say, thank you. Certificate is signed by George Lutz, presented with proud assistance and appreciation from the Fleet Reserve Association, headquartered in Alexandria, Virginia.
I'd like to thank everybody for being here today, but I'd also like to read you a poem that my son sent home to me shortly after he went to Vietnam, and it goes like this. I've been in Vietnam for several months now, and I'm hardly ready to take my bow. I've seen some fellow Marines go down, but I'm sure